Hello and welcome to Stories for the Workday. And today we continue with our October theme with the Whispers in the Woods. So enjoy and subscribe if you enjoy these stories.
In the shadowy depths of Eldergrove, tales of a demon haunted the villagers. They spoke in hushed tones about Azeroth, a malevolent spirit said to dwell among the twisted trees, stirring unease in the hearts of those who dared to venture too far. It was said that under the cover of darkness, Azeroth sought offerings, blood, fear, and souls. Eleanor, restless and determined, had long dismissed the villagers' warnings as mere superstition. Curiosity burned within her like an insatiable flame, urging her to uncover the truth hidden in the forest's depths. On a chill autumn evening, with the moon hanging low and full in the sky, she slipped away from the flickering lights of her village. As she crossed the threshold into the woods, the atmosphere thickened, the air saturated with a sense of foreboding. Ancient trees loomed overhead, their branches intertwining like bony fingers, creating a tapestry of shadows that seemed to pulse with life. The path quickly faded, swallowed by underbrush and silence. Deeper into the forest, the sounds of the village fell away, replaced by an unsettling quiet. Each step echoed in her ears, a reminder of her solitude. Just as doubt began to creep in, she stumbled upon a clearing bathed in silvery moonlight. At its center stood a stone altar, aged and covered in moss, etched with symbols that twisted and turned into grotesque shapes. Compelled by an unseen force, Elena approached the altar, her heart pounding in rhythm with the whispers that began to drift through the air. Soft, almost melodic, yet tinged with an underlying menace. The wind seemed to carry them, urging her closer. She knelt, tracing her fingers over the cold stone, feeling a shiver run through her as the whispers intensified, merging into a chant that sent chills down her spine. "Join us! Join us!" The voices intertwined, echoing her deepest fears and desires. As she rose, she spotted a dagger embedded in the altar, its blade shimmering ominously. The air around it felt electric, and she hesitated, torn between fear and fascination. The whispers crescendoed, promising power and knowledge if she were to accept the ritual. "What do you want from me?" she called out, her voice trembling. Silence fell momentarily, heavy and thick, before the whispers returned, clearer now, weaving visions of the forest's secrets, forgotten lore, hidden paths, and the ancient history that bound the village to the demon. But the price was steep. Sacrifice was required. She could feel it in her bones. A dark thrill coursed through her veins, battling against the dread pooling in her stomach. She had always craved adventure, a break from the mundane life of the village. Yet the tales of those who had vanished into the woods echoed in her mind. With trembling hands, she grasped the dagger. Its weight felt significant, a tether to a world she could barely comprehend. As the moon reached its zenith, the whispers grew desperate, as if sensing her hesitation. "Accept the darkness," they urged, seductive and haunting. Elena stood at the precipice of decision, caught between the allure of the unknown and the safety of her past. The forest seemed to pulse with energy, waiting for her to choose. Would she heed the call of the demon, stepping into a realm of power and knowledge, or would she turn back, leaving the whispers behind? With a deep breath, she made her choice. The moon hung high, casting eerie shadows that danced across the clearing as the power surged through Eleanor. She could feel it pulsating within her, a raw energy that both exhilarated and terrified her. The whispers of Azeroth coiled around her thoughts, shaping her newfound identity with every heartbeat. "You are not merely a child of the village anymore," Azeroth intoned, his voice echoing in the depths of her mind. "You are the vessel of the woods. Embrace it, and you will see the world through my eyes." With a deep breath, Eleanor stepped away from the altar, feeling the energy of the forest thrumming beneath her feet. Each pulse resonated with her own heart, creating a bond she had never imagined possible. The trees seemed to lean in, their gnarled branches whispering secrets she was now beginning to understand. As she ventured further into the woods, the air around her shifted. The familiar rustling of leaves transformed into a symphony of voices, each one a story waiting to be told. Shadows flitted just out of her line of sight, and Eleanor realized she could feel their presence. The spirits of the forest, once hidden from her, now welcomed her into their fold. But as she wandered deeper, a sense of foreboding began to creep in. The whispers grew more insistent, a blend of excitement and warning. "Guardians watch," Azeroth cautioned. "Not all who roam these woods are allies." Eleanor paused, glancing around. The moonlight filtered through the canopy, revealing glimpses of movement in the underbrush. She could sense something lurking beyond the trees, a presence that felt both protective and menacing. A chill ran down her spine. Before she could collect her thoughts, a figure emerged from the shadows. A tall, gaunt man with hollow eyes and a tattered cloak. He regarded her with a mix of curiosity and suspicion. "You tread on sacred ground, child." "I am one with the woods now," Eleanor replied, her voice steady despite the flutter of fear in her chest. "I have made a pact." The man's gaze sharpened. "With Azeroth?" he asked, his tone shifting to one of concern. "You do not understand the weight of that bond. It is not merely power you gain, but a burden." "Who are you?" she demanded, feeling a protective urge rise within her. The shadows around her pulsed in response, as if they too were ready to defend her. "I am Kellan, a guardian of these woods," he said, stepping closer. "I have watched over this land for centuries. The pact you made is dangerous, and Azeroth is not to be trusted. He feeds on ambition and fear." Eleanor felt a flicker of doubt, but Azeroth's voice surged within her, a comforting whisper. "He speaks to deceive you. Trust your instincts, child." Kellan's expression darkened. "You cannot trust the whispers of darkness. They lead only to ruin. I have seen it happen before, brave souls consumed by their own desires." "What do you know of my desires?" she retorted, anger flaring at the implication that she was weak. "I seek to understand this place and its secrets. I refuse to be cowed by tales of old." Kellan shook his head, sorrow etched into his features. "The forest is a living entity, Eleanor. It has its own will. You may think you control the darkness, but it will twist you, warp your very essence." Eleanor hesitated, the weight of his words sinking in. She glanced at the dagger still buried in the altar, the blood that had sealed her fate. Was she truly ready for this? As the wind picked up, she felt the trees shudder, their whispers intertwining with her own thoughts. "I have made my choice," she said firmly, forcing conviction into her voice. "I will learn to wield this power." Kellan's expression hardened. "Then you must prepare for the trials ahead. The woods will test you, and Azeroth will seek to exploit your every weakness. If you fail, you will become a pawn in his game." "I am not afraid," she replied, though her voice trembled slightly. "Fear is wise," Kellan said, stepping back. "It can keep you grounded. Seek the heart of the forest, the grove of shadows. There you will find the truth of your pact and the fate that awaits you." With that, he turned and disappeared into the shadows, leaving Eleanor alone in the clearing, the weight of his words lingering in the air. The whispers of Azeroth filled the void, a melody of assurance. "You are strong, my child. Embrace the darkness." But doubt clawed at her heart. As she stood there, the moonlight casting long shadows, she realized that the path ahead was fraught with uncertainty. The forest was no longer merely a place of adventure. It had become a living labyrinth, filled with both wonder and peril. Determined, Eleanor set her sights on the heart of Eldergrove, her resolve hardening with each step. She would discover the truth, confront the darkness within, and learn to wield the power that now coursed through her veins. And as she ventured deeper into the woods, the whispers of Azeroth entwined with her own, guiding her toward an uncertain fate. The deeper Eleanor ventured into Eldergrove, the more the landscape transformed. The air grew thick with a heady mix of moss and decay, a reminder that life and death danced hand in hand within these woods. The trees loomed larger, their gnarled roots twisting like serpents, creating a natural maze that seemed intent on keeping her within its embrace. Guided by the whispers of Azeroth, she felt an insatiable pull toward the Grove of Shadows. The whispers grew more vivid, urging her forward, promising knowledge and power, but beneath their seductive tones lay an undercurrent of something darker. An echo of Kellan's warning. As she pressed on, the path narrowed, engulfed by thick underbrush and the haunting calls of unseen creatures. A sense of urgency coursed through her veins, propelling her past familiar fears. With each step, the forest around her felt increasingly alive, as if it were watching, judging her worthiness. Suddenly, the trees parted, revealing a clearing that pulsed with an otherworldly light. The grove of shadows stood before her, a sacred circle surrounded by ancient oaks, their trunks twisted and gnarled, branches reaching toward the sky like beseeching hands. At the center of the grove lay a pool of black water, smooth and reflective as obsidian, the surface shimmering with an ethereal glow. Eleanor approached cautiously, the whispers of Azeroth urging her closer. "Look into the depths, child. What you seek lies within." Kneeling by the pool, she gazed into its inky surface. Images flickered to life, visions of the past, present and future intermingling like threads in a tapestry. She saw herself, standing tall, surrounded by the very essence of the woods, wielding power beyond comprehension. But intertwined with that vision were darker images, her eyes hollow and lifeless, consumed by the shadows she had embraced. Panic surged through her, and she pulled back. "No, this isn't what I want." "Are you so certain?" Azeroth's voice echoed, smooth and enticing. "Power can be intoxicating. It can free you from the chains of doubt, allow you to shape your destiny. You are on the brink of greatness." "But at what cost?" Eleanor whispered, heart racing. The visions continued to swirl, showing her friends and family, the very people she had sought to escape. They looked on in horror, their faces twisted with fear and betrayal. "I can't do this." "Can't or won't?" Azeroth pressed, his voice darkening. "The pact binds you now. To reject it is to reject your own potential." Elena took a deep breath, fighting against the rising tide of despair. She had made a choice, and she would see it through. She leaned closer to the water, willing herself to confront the darkness within. "I am not afraid of what I might find," she declared, steeling herself. "Show me." The pool shimmered, and the reflections shifted once more. She found herself standing in a twisted forest, branches clawing at the sky. In the distance, she heard the cries of those who had vanished, lost souls wandering, caught between worlds. "Those who seek power often become lost," Azeroth warned, his tone shifting to one of urgency. "You must navigate the shadows wisely. They will test your resolve." As the vision shifted, Elena saw a figure, Kellan, standing in the depths of the forest, bathed in a faint ethereal light. His expression was grave, and he gestured toward her, a warning etched across his face. "Elena, beware the shadows." The vision faded, replaced by the reflection of the pool itself. Elena stared into its depths, feeling the darkness pull at her, beckoning her to join it. She could sense the weight of the forest, the ancient magic flowing through her veins, merging with the shadows. It felt powerful, intoxicating, but also perilous. "Do you wish to save them?" Azeroth's voice whispered seductively. "Embrace the darkness, and you shall have the power to change their fate." Eleanor hesitated, the weight of the villagers' disdain, her own desires, and the allure of the dark magic swirled within her. She could feel the lines blurring between who she had been and who she could become. Taking a deep breath, she made her choice. "No," she said firmly, the word resonating in the grove. "I will not lose myself. I will find a way to protect them, without succumbing to darkness." As the words left her lips, the grove shuddered. The wind howled, and the whispers turned into a cacophony of anger and disbelief. Shadows twisted around her, writhing as if in protest. "Foolish child," Azeroth roared, his voice reverberating through the trees. "You cannot turn your back on the power you have summoned." The ground trembled beneath her, and the pool bubbled ominously. But Elena stood her ground, channeling the strength she had gained, her heart pounding in defiance of the chaos surrounding her. With newfound resolve, she turned away from the pool and the shadows that threatened to consume her. "I choose light over darkness." In that moment, a brilliant light burst from within her, radiating outward and pushing back against the encroaching shadows. The grove erupted in brilliance, illuminating the twisted forms of the trees, the air crackling with energy. The whispers faded, replaced by a harmonious song that resonated through the woods. Elena felt a shift within her, a harmony between the light and dark, the knowledge that she could harness the power of the forest without being consumed by it. As the glow subsided, she found herself alone in the clearing, the pool now calm and reflective once more. The shadows had retreated, but she knew they were not gone. "I will learn to wield this power," she vowed to the silent grove, "and I will protect those I love." With determination, Eleanor stepped away from the grove of shadows, the weight of her choices heavy but resolute. She had chosen a path of balance, one that would require strength and vigilance. The journey was far from over, and the woods still held many secrets, but she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. The whispers would follow her, but now they were a part of her, a reminder of the darkness she had faced and the light she would carry forward.